What are you sick of explaining? The difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes, and that I was born with it and didn't get it from eating sugar. And for me, that there are more than 2 types of diabetes. I heard of diabetes insipidus, definitely spelt it wrong. The one where you can't produce ADH, but are there any more than that? I'm a programmer. I write programs. I do not know how to fix your laptop that won't turn on. You are lying. I saw the Mario Brothers movie. I know that gamers, hackers, programmers, and computer engineers are basically the same thing. That Bluetooth does not use your mobile data. This has been explained countless times to my dad. What I see when people find out I'm colorblind. 2 of my best friends are colorblind. Whenever I show them a picture of a landscape or something I say, I know you can't see it well because you're colorblind, but trust me, it's beautiful. We roast the ones we love. What can I say? I exist in Los Angeles without a driver's license / car. Nobody drives in LA. There's too much traffic. Please baby, no more traffic in LA. That those games on Facebook that ask you to tap on your birthday / month or whatever are harvesting your details to be used for not so innocent purposes. Can you give an example of one of these not so innocent purposes? Just to confirm I agree with you, but I'm interested as to the response. A lot of official websites require your birth date as part of resetting your password. Every time I forget my password to my student loan provider, the first thing they ask is for the last 4 of my SSN and my birthday. Allergies. E.g. against pollen or food. Pollen is flying around not only in summer and the symptoms are not always red eyes or sneezing. So just because you cannot see that someone is not feeling well, it still can be the case. Or food allergies and you are judged as being picky. Please just accept that some people cannot eat everything. Probably there are other allergies, and explaining at some point is just so tiresome. My brother doesn't sneeze or have watery eyes when his allergy season hits. He coughs. He naturally has a very loud and aggressive sounding cough. Trying to work in May this year was more than a little bit difficult. Oh man, I get this too. It's made this year really difficult. Thankfully my allergy meds work pretty well. I know I look 10+ years younger than I am. I don't know how to respond without sounding conceited. Curse of the baby face. I get eyed every time I try to buy alcohol. I'm in my 30s. My go-to line is usually yeah, I know, sure. I'll be loving it when I'm 50, followed by a wry chuckle. I'm at the midpoint where I say that it sucked to look 12 when I was 20, but I'm happy with it now. Still, I'm kinda tired of talking about it. That I cannot find friends or a girlfriend like milk in a store. I see you're drinking 1%. Is that cause you think you're fat? Cause you're not. You could totally be drinking whole if you wanted to. It has been a long time since I've seen a Napoleon Dynamite reference on the internet. Why I don't drink alcohol? I mean, I don't feel like I need to explain that one. But other people want me to. Is it really such a crime? Hate this. Especially because I don't really have a reason for it. I simply don't want to. Same. Luckily most of my close friends are a bit older than me and are completely understanding about it. Unfortunately my flatmates are less understanding and think I have some sort of medical condition. Yes, I'm tall. Yes, my parents are also tall. No, I did not play basketball. When people say you're really tall I never know what to say because it's not a rude thing to say, but it's not really a compliment either. It's just stating a fact about myself that I'm already aware of. One time someone said it, so I said you have brown hair. He did not get it. Edit. To all the people telling me girls like tall guys, I'm a woman and I'm not upset about my height. I love being tall. I just don't know why people comment on it so much. Jep and maintain disappointed eye contact. Now they know that you are looking down on them metaphorically as well as literally. My color blindness. Basically as soon as anyone finds out, they point at something and ask what color is this? Before anyone asks, I have deuteranopia, which is red/green. Edit. Thanks for all the awards. If someone tells you they're colorblind, it's always better to just ask them what type of color blindness they have, rather than ask them to identify a specific color. I have deuteranopia also. It's annoying. People expect me to be able to tell them how what I see is different to what they see. How the duck am I to explain it to you? I can't see how you see. Generally I think it's impossible to describe a ducking color. Edit. Describing a color to someone, as this comment was made as a reply to another comment about color blindness. Of course there's gonna be scientific ways to classify color. Why I use a wheelchair/sticks? No, I didn't have an accident. I didn't break anything. My body just doesn't work very well. Go away. Edit. Thanks for the awards. The cake day wishes and support messages. Or the classic, do you really need that though? Yes. My spine is deteriorating. Shut up. People are really asking if somebody else really needs a wheelchair or anything of the kind. What the heck do they expect? Like, no. Jeremy, I bought these for fun. Or what? My OCD. I have actually serious, medically diagnosed OCD. I have certain habits that I feel I sometimes need to explain, but it's hard to convey to someone who doesn't have it. I have the same problem with ADHD. I have a very severe case. I've learned to cope with it quite well by my age. Before people jump in with their suggestions, one of the things that catches people's attention, even when I don't want it to, is what I call cooling off. If I get overstimulated, I intentionally distance myself from that stimulation for a little while to cool off. So if I'm at a party, I may go sit in my car by myself for 15 to 20 minutes. No, I'm not being antisocial. No, for the love of God, I don't want you to come with me. I just need to chill for a secretary, so I don't feel like I'm on an LSD trip. I have ADHD too. I do take meds for it, but I also have that problem with the parties. I call it too much prickles when I'm in a crowded space where people are loud. Our heads are just too full for that. Just leave us alone. I'm Korean 1. I do not eat dog 2. I'm not related to Kim Jong-un 3. I'm not from North Korea 4. I do not know every single K-pop song in existence 5. I'm not from China 6. No, I do not eat bats. My dad is Burmese/from Myanmar, and while my mom is white, I still look quite Asian. I keep getting asked from kids in my school if I've eaten a dog. I'm vegetarian. My friend is half Korean and half white, and duck man he looks like has straight from South Korea. He gets the "where are you from" sometimes, and when he says our hometown feel like no, like where are you from actually, like bitch what? Why I don't really talk. I'm so sick of being asked why are you so quiet, because I just am. I can talk to people and understand social cues, but I don't speak unless I think I'm adding something. I used to think I was an introvert across the board. As I grew up, I've realized that I'm generally an average talker in different social situations, and I'm quiet only within my family. And I've recently found out why. Every single time I open my mouth I get interrupted. I can't recall a time when I was able to utter a full 2-line concept without being interrupted. Many times those interruptions are meant to change the whole subject. Then I guess my brain went like, okay, you don't care about what I have to say, then I won't say it. Apostrophe. Cashier asks something indistinguishable about my order, behind a plastic barrier, in a loud room, with a mask on, so I can't read lips. Maybe with an accent me. Sorry, I'm hard of hearing. I can't hear you. Cashier repeats question. Slightly louder me. Repeating it won't help. I'm deaf. I still cannot hear you. Cashier calls coworker over, who repeats question in an even louder voice me. Can you point to a sign? Write it down. Do charades. I do not understand spoken English right now. Note I wear hearing aids and no ASL. I can mostly understand you if your mask is off, because I read lips. I feel your pain. I have basically no hearing in my right ear and barely any in my left. I can usually get by, but I have to ask people to repeat themselves a lot. The masks do not make things easier. What hay fever is I have to explain to every single person every time summer comes around. This is interesting. I thought it was a fairly common thing. It is a common thing. That's why I'm sick of explaining it. It's probably because I wear this band thingy on my arm, which helps with my hay fever a lot. Now I always just say I have a broken arm despite the fact that I can clearly move it. Why it's important to actually show that you care and not be that type of person who says it doesn't matter. She/he knows I love her. This is why I'm one of those people that tells couples to find out what their love language is. A lot of people need words of affirmation and constant affirmation from their partner that they matter and they are loved by them. And not just in relationships, but in friendships too. I always make sure to say it if I remember to, even if the other person thinks it's weird. In the off chance they appreciate it, it's worth it. Yes, this, without even realizing it, my boyfriend and I had this conversation when we first got together. Some days he's very affectionate and others he's not and just wants to sit beside me and enjoy my company without getting cuddly. And I learned to be okay with that, since he's okay with the fact that I'm very affectionate and sometimes I need that reassurance. But either way, at the end of the day, we always make sure the other knows they're loved and appreciated. That being an English professor does not mean I'm teaching English to college-aged Americans. I can't wrap my head around how the duck there are so many people who put themselves through the American education system and somehow never worked out that English equals writing and literature. In France, we fixed that by calling higher education courses literature, lettres classiques/lettres modernes. But for some reason, we still call them French classes in high school, despite there being basically no spelling and grammar at that stage. Even more weirdly, in the last year of high school, and only the last year, we actually do call them literature classes. That's water is fine. No, I don't want a soda. Just some plain water. No, not juice. Just water. Edit. Thanks for the awards. I wasn't expecting this. If someone says they just want water, don't question it. Just give them a glass of water. Where I live, bottled mineral water is quite popular. And you can taste the minerals. I don't like the taste of minerals and prefer tap water. Oh, and please don't add a slice of lemon. I swear if you put that lemon shit in my water again, I will drown you in it. Me on a bad day. I choose not to drive because it triggers migraines for me. Something about brake lights and stoplights. It's worse in the dark, rain, traffic and glare. I really just wish people would stop telling me I need to buy a car or drive a car, or how much easier life would be if I had one. I have my license. I can drive if I want to, but to be honest, it's not worth the 3 days of vomiting in pain and 4 days in bed after. Stop asking when I'll buy a car. That I'm not a heavy metal, death riding biker because I have a beard, tattoos and piercings. Are you by any chance I'm a heavy metal biker? That I don't actually want to be in a relationship with someone. Same. Plenty of fish in the sea, my man. Well, I'm not fishing to begin with. Too much risk for too little reward for me. Why I left my career using my degree and decided to just serve. I'm so much happier, honestly. Duck the money and idea of moving up the ladder. I'm never gonna be rich, but I'm happier, so that's all that really matters. Edit. Restaurant server, not military. Thank you for your restaurant service. Either way, here's getting an Applebee's discount. Why I'm depressed. There's no event that depress me. I'm depressed because of faulty brain chemistry. God damn it. But have you tried, like, not being depressed and instead just being happy? My goodness. Why didn't I think of that? I don't have kids because I don't want to. And that should be a good enough reason. Asking someone why they don't have kids should be treated as a sensitive question. What if you don't have kids because you had multiple miscarriages, or you have fertility problems? And even if those aren't true, why is not wanting kids such a crime? No, grandma, I don't want to destroy the environment by having 11 kids like you did. Some people simply just shouldn't be parents. 2. I'm not a bitch. This is just what my face looks like. Alternatively, I'm not sad or angry. This is just what my face looks like. That I don't hate people. I just have resting bitch face, said it. Wow. Didn't expect this to be my most upvoted comment/post. I'm glad to be hosting this moving group therapy meeting for my resting bitch face fellas. Those suffering resting nice face/sad face. Those with resting bitch voice or those with enjoying killer tunes bitch face. You are not alone. We stand strong together to overcome the annoying assumptions the more facial/vocally fortunate/neutral make about us. JK. It ain't that serious, hatho, and thanks for the award as well, BTW. Can we swap faces? I, apparently, have a very friendly expression on my face as default and people think that I'm helpful and friendly. I really don't like people that much though. I assume RNF, or resting nice face, can be much more problematic than RBF. People just walk up to you and ask you for directions like you just know where you are all the time. That depression is a very difficult illness to understand. It's not like we can influence our moods to be happy. Why can't you just be happy? What a brilliant idea. Depression no more. Just sickening, to be honest. That's why isolating myself from people is easier. No one wants to hear how hard it is. Reminds me of my boss complaining that I'm half a zombie some days. You should go to bed earlier. Thanks for solving insomnia, Jeffrey. Seriously, I have no problems with sleep. I'm the exact opposite. I oversleep. People tell me maybe you should sleep more. If you only knew how much time I spend sleeping. Telling people why they need to shut my bedroom door after exiting my bedroom. I really just hate it when people just leave doors open. I mean, come on, it's not hard to duck and close a duck and door. That I'm not obligated to share personal or any information just because someone thinks it's not a big deal. OMG yes. Also, I hate it when someone thinks they're entitled to know personal information about you just because it's info that they readily give away. Exactly. I've even been called paranoid for not being okay with giving out info like names or locations until I want to. I'm a pharmacist. 1. Vaccines don't cause autism. 2. The pharmacy doesn't decide your copays. 3. No, I don't just put pills in a bottle. 4. Flu shots won't give you the flu. 5. Yes, mask mandates help slow the spread of COVID-19. A couple of weeks ago my doctor prescribed me a drug that could have interacted with the medication I was already taking and could have caused a potentially serious problem with my heart. The pharmacist spotted it straight away and I got prescribed something else. I appreciate the work you fine people do. I'm so glad this was caught. We're always happy to help. That there are things called facts and that they are different from opinions. That you can't substitute opinions, even ones you really believe in, for empirically grounded facts. Finally, that expertise exists and that opinionizing is not the same thing as having actual expertise in something. And all of this might mean that your views might not be as valid as someone else's who possesses actual expertise in a given area. Don't feel bad, or that you have been slighted in those circumstances. Those times are learning opportunities. Take advantage of them. Learn something from someone who is an expert. Challenge your assumptions and grow a little. The issue is you can find all sorts of facts on the internet without knowing anything about the research methods or if there is a bias involved. I mean, how often do you see factual data coming out that doesn't match? Seems often nowadays. This is true. It raises a host of related problems and is why I tend to talk about both facts and expertise, except that I'm tired of talking about it. Sensory overload, ADHD, and what a nice guy is. The first two are, because God forbid an adult develop them. It's near impossible to be taken seriously with these conditions to people that are much older than me. They think it's silly and simply seeking attention. Thank goodness for the more progressive new general. And the last one. It's amazing how many don't understand the difference between being genuinely kind and being fake nice for ulterior motives. I'm 25 and have been on ADHD meds for like 10 years, and I've been working with people a good bit older than me for the last 5 years. I'm so sick of always getting the comments about how I'm taking meth anytime I say anything about the meds I take. The ones that say stuff like that are the same ones that don't wear masks and still COVID is a hoax, so there's no point in attempting to explain. I feel you. I have ADHD too, but I cut off the meds 10 years ago because I had some nasty side effects. Do you ever get people who refuse to believe ADHD is even a thing, since they knew a kid who was just a spoiled asshole and claimed to be ad/ad? That one really grinds my gears. Just because my country is poor/nil etc. doesn't mean your country is objectively better than mine. I for one love my country, warts and all. Yes, we have our lows, but I can assure you the highs are far more numerous, even amongst the average person. I live in Tanzania BTW. In case anyone else wants to know, LEDC equals less economically developed country. Myself, I'm an introvert. Can't keep explaining and breaking down everything I do or don't do and the reasons behind them to my extrovert friends who always seem to misunderstand me. I'm done. Stuff like why you don't want to go to parties/certain social events and or you leave early and stuff like that. If so, I don't think it requires any further explanation than no thanks. I don't want to go or similar. I completely agree with you. But unfortunately some people just never seem to accept those explanations and end up getting offended that you don't want to spend every Friday night with them after a long week of work. Some people just can't accept that introverts need their alone time to recharge. That autism isn't an illness, and that autistic girls and women exist. Edit. See. Still having to explain this. See comments. I have schizophrenia, and usually when I get to know someone I tell them I have it, just as a little warning, and what to do if it gets out of hand. But before I can even explain that, they always say OMG you have schizophrenia, so you have two personalities and kill people like that person from that one TV show. No, I do not kill people. The media has a shit representation of the condition. So I always then have to spend the next 20 minutes explaining what it is. Edit. Oh my god, I don't wanna be the person that's like thanks for the upvotes, but thank you so much. I really didn't expect this much support from everyone. Thank you so much, this has made me feel so much better about myself. Wait, who was the schizophrenic lady in Stranger Things? Can't remember her name, but she was in the 3rd season. There were all the rats in her basement, then she ate shit and everyone thought she was possessed. What my neuropathic pains feel like. Family and friends see me nearly crying in pain from some bursts and still ask me, are they really that bad? Or pains that aren't real can't hurt that much. My grandpa was in so much pain he would just freeze. It took so much time to notice and figure out the problem because he never complains. I'm still feel guilty about that. Agnosticism is not a less extreme form of atheism. I can't pause online games. That cupboard won't magically disappear on November 4th. People having opinions and why everyone should let others enjoy something they don't. I have BPD. So no, I'm not just sad. No, I'm not gonna kill myself. No, it's not a phase. No, I can't just think happy thoughts or go outside more to cure it. And the most recent one. No, I'm not manipulating you to get attention. Though I manipulate myself into thinking I'm manipulating you. 1. Why am I being so quiet? Cause introvert. 2. Which one of us, me 30F, GF 33F, is the man in our relationship? No one. That's the whole point. SMH. That it's would've not would've. To native English speakers that is. Well, they should have paid more attention in class. Dang. Even typing that almost made me throw up. That I was born in British Hong Kong. And I'm technically not a Chinese national. No matter how much the CCP wants otherwise. I hate when someone explains something to me, but I didn't ask them to. I will not say, because I'm sick of explaining it. Explaining universal healthcare to Americans, especially when the response is why should I pay for someone else's healthcare? Like, mate, do you even understand how insurance works? I really hate that argument, because the same could be said for literally everything taxes pay for. Why should I pay for the police to help other people? Why should I pay for a pothole to be fixed on a street I don't drive on? ECT. There are some legitimate arguments against it, but when someone uses that one, you know they are just an idiot. Could you please elaborate on the negative aspects of universal healthcare? Just wondering. Because I have not yet seen any of those legitimate arguments. D. The multiple testing problem, and why it also applies to your particular dataset. But if I just enter 27 predictors into this n=8 regression, that works, right? Why my wife and I don't have kids? We just don't want. Vaccines don't cause autism and you can breathe while wearing a mask. That they can also be used to refer to just one person. For some reason some people think that it is only used when referring to multiple people, but that is not the case. I learned from a young age that you use they/them if you don't know someone's gender. I learned this way before I even knew anything about gender identity. It baffles me that people only think it's for more than one person. Why I'm 50 and single with no kids and never married. And no, I'm not gay and never will be. I'm extremely skinny and can't seem to gain any weight, even though I eat more than normal people. Most of the time, when people see me, they're like, Jesus kid, eat food and get healthy. I have to explain to them that I have low genetic risk score which prevents me from gaining weight. Most people don't even believe me when I explain it to them, because they think foods can solve every problem in the body, even genetic problems. Sorry for my bad English. It's my second language. That climate isn't the same as weather. FFS. That not all Christians hate gay people and are racist. As a Christian I always picture what Jesus would do sitting at a table with any decent human in pain. Never have I ever imagined him looking across that table with anything short of love and acceptance. If I'm to model my life after his, why would I do anything less? Homosexuality. Y'all can't imagine the number of boys in my school who ask me how lesbian sex works. Like, I'm a virgin. Google is here to help. Stop asking weird questions, you just sound like a creep. No matter what you've been told, not all sharks have to keep swimming, or else they'll die. Buckle breathers have special pockets they use to push water over their gills while stationary. Some even sleep on the ocean floor. That babies need a lot of cuddling. There's no such thing as spoiling a baby. That allowing kids to cry on purpose to make them independent is cruel and stuffs up their brain development in countless ways for life. Leaving babies to cry is just plain cruel. Period. Why free speech should especially involves the ideas you don't believe in. Why masks work. FFS Karen. Just wear the goddamn thing and let this ducking virus die out so I can go take my ducking entrance exam and be able to live in peace. Related to this, why you should still keep your distance even when wearing a mask. Keeping your distance and washing your hands are much more important than wearing masks. Still wear your mask though. What asexual is. Why it's not just a phase and I'm not gonna meet the right person. Explaining my circumstances at home, which is why I'm self-diagnosed in a lot of stuff as I can't see professionals about it. Edit. Thanks for the award, kind stranger. I wonder if I'm asexual or just lazy, because relationships are just so much work. Me in a relationship is constantly catering to needs of other because my needs are only fulfilled while being alone. Maybe I just hate people. I don't know. How colorblindness works. I am not sad. This is the way my face is. These are my facial features. I ducking sleep with this expression. That you have to wear a mask inside. At my job that's what I do 99% of the day and am ducking sick. I'm tired of these ducking idiots. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.